Here, our goal is to solve for A and B. So we have this matrix equation, and our goal is to solve for A and B. Now, what we have here is we have this matrix, and we have this matrix, which we have to multiply by each other. Now, notice that the first matrix, this one, is a 2 by 2 matrix. And the reason why we say it's a 2 by 2 matrix is because it has 2 rows. So this is one row, and this is another row. And it has 2 columns. So this is one column, and this is another column. So it's a 2 by 2 matrix, this first matrix. Now the second matrix is a 2 by 1 matrix. So it's a 2 by 1 matrix. And the reason why it's a 2 by 1 matrix is because it has 2 rows, one row, next row, but it has only one column. So it's only one column right there. So it's a 2 by 1. And so if we look carefully, these two are the same. So since these two are the same, that means that it is possible to multiply these two matrices. But when we multiply these two matrices, the order of the resultant matrix is going to be a 2 by 1 matrix. And so we expect that when we multiply these two matrices, we should get a matrix that is of order 2 by 1. So the matrix that we get when we multiply these two matrices will have 2 rows. This is one row, this is a next row, but only would have one column. Only one column. So we're going to be left with a matrix that has 2 rows, right? So 2 rows, this row and this row, but only one column. And so this matrix that we have, when we multiply these two matrices together, would be a matrix that has 2 entries. Okay, so we're going to use this as our formula to help us to multiply these two matrices. Now, if we look at the formula says row 1, column 1. So we have to multiply row 1 by column 1. Row 1 by column 1. And so what does that look like? We're going to say 0 multiplied by A, which we have here. Then we have 5 multiplied by B, which we have here. The next part of the formula says row 2, column 1. So we're going to take this row 2. This is row 2. We can multiply that by column 1. So row 2 multiplied by column 1. So we say 1 multiplied by A, which we have here, 1 multiplied by A. Then we have -1 multiplied by B, and that's -1 multiplied by B. And so we have to simplify this matrix. So what do we have? We have 0 multiplied by A, which is 0. 5 multiplied by B, which is 5B. 1 multiplied by A, which is simply A. -1 multiplied by B is -B. 5 multiplied by B is 5B. So 0 multiplied by A, which is 0. 5 multiplied by B, which is 5B. 1 multiplied by A, which is A. And -1 multiplied by B is a -B. And we set that equal to this matrix. Next, we have 0 plus 5B. And 0 plus 5B is simply 5B. Positive times a negative. Positive times a negative is a negative. So this is A minus B. So we have 5B and we have A minus B. Now, if these two matrices are equal, right, that means that corresponding entries must be equal. And so what that means is 5B must be equal to 35 because these two are corresponding entries, and A minus B must be equal to -27. So these two equations must be true. Now we're going to solve these equations so that we can figure out what is A and what is B and what is A. And so let's solve these equations. We have 5B is equal to 35. In order to solve this equation, we divide both sides of this equation by 5. We cancel that with that. And so we are left with B is equal to 35 divided by 5, which means that B is equal to 7. Next, what we do is we have to figure out what A is. We're going to send a -7 over the equal sign. It was a -7. When we send it over, it becomes a +7. And so we have that A is equal to -27 plus 7. And -27 plus 7 is simply 20. So A is equal to 20. So we have that A is equal to 20 and B is equal to, A is equal to -20. So we have that A is equal to -20, B is equal to 7, and that's the answer to this question.